Welcome back. Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, of course. The Diamond K Show on Fire TV, radio on fire. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me. So the Maryland primaries are done and over with for the most part. Biden and Trump have agreed to debate. Oprah apologizes. Some black men have really messed up, and we're going to talk about all of those things today. Of course, on all social media, I am at the Diamond K Show, djdiamondk at gmail.com. So Maryland primary, it was something. I'm surprised it's over. It seems like it went so fast. There's some winners, there's some losers. The primary election results rolled in a lot quicker than I thought they were going to come in. We got results back a lot faster than thought. Somebody needs to tell Sheila Dixon because she's still holding on to hopes. What I think that we saw, and I think I'll start with the Baltimore City mayor's race. What we have seen, or what we're witnessing now, is the end of an era. Sheila Dixon has run for mayor the last, 3 times, and each time has gotten worse for her. What's interesting is, in the past, she's had the people behind her, but not the machine. This time, she had the machine behind her, but sadly for her, not the people. A lot of takeaways from this election here in Maryland. So with regards to the mayor's race, Brandon Scott came out looking very strong. He had a surge in the last, I would say, since the Key Bridge collapsed. He was attacked by MAGA folks, attacked by racists around the country, calling him the DEI mayor. And Brandon Scott is not one to shy away from a fight. He does not mince words. He can be very aggressive. And he met the opponents head on. He met the opponents head on. He went on national shows, did interviews, and I think during those moments, Brandon Scott really showed his colors and showed that he has some balls. He was not scared to talk about and address the racist attacks that came at him. And I think that one thing that happened was even Marylanders who may have had a problem with Brandon Scott felt like this is our mayor and folks are attacking him. We can attack him, but other people cannot attack him. That's what I think happened for a lot of Baltimoreans. They rallied around Brandon Scott. The way that he has handled, and of course, he's not building the bridge, right? But he's been there, and Governor Moore has been there. And I think standing beside the governor, it really made him, Brandon Scott, it really shined him in a good light. And, it's moments like this, these sad moments, like the bridge collapse. Well, it wasn't a bridge collapse. The bridge, the boat hitting the bridge. That these moments really make folks have faith in a leader. And Brandon Scott has a lot of things that he can point to as far as victories. Is everything done? No, everything is not done. But he's gotten a lot done. And that is something that he can hang his hat on. We are getting, as they say, 4 more years of Brandon Scott. So the haters, I tell you, it was interesting. Fox 45, I watched some of their coverage. They were really pulling for Sheila Dixon. And they had folks ready at Sheila Dixon's, results headquarters, and they were ready. And then when it went another way, they were unhappy. Let me say that they were unhappy. It was interesting to watch the way that things turned around. Sheila Dixon says that she's going to be waiting for the final outcome of the mail-in ballots. And I get it, and I understand. I know what it feels like to be on this, to not have an election go your way. I know what that feels like, and it doesn't feel good. I'm gonna tell you, it does not feel good. You don't want to answer the phone. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to go outside. You don't want to log on to social media. Like you feel bad. And I understand how she feels, but she needs to accept the facts that she lost, and she lost pretty handily. In 2020, this was a close race, and in 2024, it was not even close. Okay, it was not even close. Mayor Scott won handily, and she's gonna have to accept that. She's gonna have to accept it or not. I guess she doesn't have to accept it, right? So let's don't take my word for it, right? Don't take my word for it. Let's look at some of these numbers, all right? These are result numbers, okay, for the mayor's race. And okay, so this is in Baltimore City. So some of these names on here you may not even recognize. All right, some of these names on here you may not even recognize. All right, now there were a lot of folks running for office to be mayor of Baltimore City. All right, so let's come down to the folks that had a chance to win. So let's look at Sheila Dixon. Okay, Sheila Dixon, you can see. So you have early voting, you have day of, and you have mail-in. All right, and I suppose it's pretty good, right? 26,934 votes. So roughly about 41%. She got roughly 41% of the vote, 41. And the closest person to her, Bob Wallace. All right. And so early voting, he got 546. Day of, he got 1,230. And mail-in, he got 276 votes for a grand total of 2,052. So he got roughly 3%. This is around where he was polling at, around 3%. Now, Through Vignaraja, who had dropped out of the race a little bit early early voting, he got 184. Day of, he got 589. And mail-in, he did very well on mail-in, 1,212. Right, so these are people that had already voted for him before he dropped out. Right, and so he has a grand total of 1,985. And so he did fair, right? But dropping out, I think he should have dropped out sooner. Now, Brandon Scott, early voting, 6,329. He had already done more in early voting than any of his challengers, right? But it was very close with Sheila Dixon. She got close to that amount early voting. So day of, Brandon Scott knocking it out the box with 22,276 votes, mail-in 4,636 for a grand total of 33,000 241. So a little bit over 50% of the vote went to Brandon Scott. So Sheila Dixon, let's talk about Sheila Dixon, because she's going to say it's close to that. All right, so she got 26 to his 33. So let's just pretend. Let's just do some math here. Let's give all of Thuroo Vigneraj's votes to Sheila Dixon, right? So that'd take her to, 28. And let's even give her Bob Wallace's votes, right? That would take her to 30. You give her the two closest contenders' votes, and she still doesn't win. She would have needed everybody else to drop out of the race and then hopefully vote for her in order to get close to where Brandon Scott is. So we are getting 4 more years of Brandon Scott as mayor of Baltimore. And I don't have a problem with that. I think that he has stepped up to the plate being the mayor of Baltimore. I've said this many times, is the toughest job in Baltimore. Being the mayor is the toughest job in Baltimore. And Brandon Scott wants this job. He's in it. And so he's getting 4 more years. Now, down the pike, and I'm sure that he knows this, but down the pike, there's a new challenger coming. We're going to talk about that. And here's the thing, it's not going to be Sheila Dixon. The Sheila Dixon era is over as far as being the mayor. Now, if I had been advising Sheila Dixon, here's what I would have said. Some people may have a problem with this, but let me explain it. If I had been advising Sheila Dixon, I would have advised her not to run for mayor. I would have advised her to run for president of the city council. Now, some people are going to say, wait, why should she be president of the city council? She's already done that. True, she has already done that, but she's trying to rehabilitate herself. She's trying to get back in the game. Sheila Dixon should have run for president of the city council. And let me tell you why. The president of the city council is a springboard, can be a springboard to the mayor's office. Sheila Dixon did it. Brandon Scott did it. Jack Young did it. Stephanie Rollins Blake did it. Many have done it. Now, she'd already had that position. She's already been mayor before too, right? So if you want to use the logic, like she already did that before, okay, she already was mayor before. Why didn't she run for something that was higher than mayor? Because she wanted to be mayor again. That's why. And she thought that was her strongest or best opportunity. Now, I'm saying that running against the incumbent, Brandon Scott, was different than running against Brandon Scott seeking the office. It's different. He already had a record. Now, he didn't have a record to point to then. So it was closer. They were kind of leaning more towards Sheila because she was the one that had been mayor before. Now, it would have been easier for her to win the race as president of the city council. And I think that had she run for president of city council, she could have beaten and won. She could have been in that position. It would have been contentious between her and Brandon Scott with her being in that role. But it would have shown people, and it would have given her a better chance further down the line. Now, I don't think she has any chance to be mayor. I don't think she has any chance to be president of city council. I don't think she's probably just, burnt out from it, the whole thing. And I understand that. But that's what I would have advised her to do. I would have advised her to do that. And had she done that, right? Because people, you got to take a step back to take a step forward. And, they got all these so-called smart people around them. They got these so-called smart people around them, but they don't listen to common sense. And I would have given her common sense. I've worked with some candidates here in Maryland, and a lot of times they think that they know, but they don't really know. And then they have all these people around them. They're so-called smart people, And so I just let things go the way that they go, right? But I am definitely open to advise candidates. What we need, though, is a young crop of candidates. And I definitely want to help some people get elected. We need a young crop of candidates. But back to my Sheila Dixon thing. Sheila, Ms. Dixon, I would have advised you to run for president of city council. You would have won that race. You need a victory, right? You need to seem like a winner. And that would have been the move. That would have been the move. But such is life. And so we're moving on. We are in the Sheila Dixon era is over. Okay, it's over. It's done. She is not going to be mayor. All the folks that they tore her down and then they tried to build her back up. The machine I'm talking about. The same machine that tore her down tried to prop her back up. Because now their enemy is Brandon Scott. Brandon Scott came out of this very strong, very cocky. I like it. I'm feeling it. If you remember back in 2020, me and Brandon Scott didn't see eye to eye. And the Lord, the Lord saw it fit for our paths to cross. So Brandon Scott and my paths crossed in 2020 during that campaign. And he and I had a 20-minute conversation. And I had never had a conversation with him before that moment. I'd been to events that he had been. We had obviously, like I said, I didn't speak highly of him during this time. But we met and we had a 20-minute conversation at Edmondson High School. And I left that conversation and I said, you know what? I'm wrong about this guy. I've been wrong about this guy. I think he is what Baltimore needed at that time. This is in 2020. He went on to win the race. He's been on the show twice. And I'm definitely a supporter of his. And he has grown into the job. And he's still growing into the job. And a lot of folks thought he was too young. But we need somebody. But we want somebody young. Oh, but he's too young. That's what we said. And he laid out a strategy because you need a strategy. And what happens in Baltimore, the things that are messed up in the city didn't get like that in 4 years. So it's going to take more than 4 years to fix it. So we have agreed as a population to give him 4 more years, which is going to turn out to be 8. And we'll see what's happening. And I said this last week, whoever became the mayor, I'm going to put pressure on them for a lot of things. And I like Brandon Scott. He's a friend of the show. Hopefully he will come back on the show at some point in time. But there are things that need to happen in this city. So I will be putting pressure on him. But it is all love. I want to see him win. I want to see Baltimore win. And we need to support our mayor. He has run and confirmed his victory. So shout out to him. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show. Of course, djdiamondk at gmail.com. Another surprise. Let me say this. I wasn't surprised at the result. I saw a few weeks ago that things were shifting in a direction that Brandon Scott was going to win. I saw that. Here's another thing, and I think that this is very timely. The future. Who is Brandon Scott going to have to look for? Who's his next challenger? All right. I'm getting ready to tell you right now the next challenger for Brandon Scott. And it's not going to be Sheila Dixon. Now, so we're going to, this is what I was talking about. We're going to the president of the city council. President of the city council. So we had Zeke Cohen. Early voting, he got 6,478 early voting. Day of, he got 19,730. Mail in, he got 5,399. And that is for a grand total of 31,607. He was by leaps and bounds the winner. Now, here's the thing about what I call splitting the vote. Now, Nick Mosby, who was the office holder, Early voting, he got 3,059 votes. Day of, he got 9,409. Mail in, 3,219 for a grand total of 15,687. He underperformed just 24%. Now, Shannon Sneed, friend of the show. Nick Mosby, friend of the show. But it is what it is. Okay. And early voting for Shannon Sneed, 3,813 early voting. Election day, she got 10,275. Mail in, 2,782 for a grand total of 16,870 votes. Okay. One of these candidates should not have been in the race, and it probably was Shannon Sneed. Shannon Sneed should have sat this out. Every time it's an election doesn't mean you're supposed to run. If I was advising Shannon Sneed, I like Shannon Sneed personally. If I was advising her, I would have advised her to wait. Not yet. Not yet. I watched the debate between her, Zeke Cohen, and Nick Mosby. She needs some more polish. Some of her answers, she wasn't quite ready. She's not quite as quick on her feet as she needs to be. She has a journalist background. She speaks well, but I think that there are a few, she needs some more polish on her. I think that she can be very formidable. And she's young enough that she has a future. So she's run for a few things. She ran for lieutenant governor before. She's run for president of city council before. And I think that she very well may get this job. She has to position herself. Now, I talked about Brandon Scott's next opponent. Brandon Scott's next opponent is going to be Zeke Cohen. Zeke Cohen is setting himself up to be the next mayor. Okay. And I will say this, the Zeke Cohen, Brandon Scott race is not going to be as easy as this Sheila Dixon one was. A lot of different factors. You have the, what I call the Martin O'Malley factor here. What am I talking about? He's a white guy. Okay. He's a white guy. And there is nothing that the powers that be in Baltimore want more than a white mayor. Oh my God. They want that so bad. They want that so bad. And that is what is in the horizon. That was years from now. But Zeke Cohen is setting himself up. He is a very capable politician. I don't know him personally. He has not been on the show as of yet. He is welcome on the show. But he is a formidable opponent. He's a good politician. He speaks well. He has charisma, and he knows how to play that political game. He's a former teacher, but he is somebody to watch. Now, I don't think that the relationship between he and Brandon Scott is going to deteriorate because he wants that job. He wants that job. It is clear and it is obvious. And I see it. And here's the thing. I like competition. I love competition. Many of you know that my background is music. I started as a DJ and a recording artist. And in the 90s here in Baltimore, I released a lot of music on my label, a lot of Baltimore club songs that many of you know. Why am I mentioning this? In the 90s, Baltimore had the best club music. Why? We had a lot of clubs first. We had a lot of DJs, producers that were making the music. But here's why we had the best music. And this is what I'm talking about. Competition. You had Unruly. You had Rod Lee. We had DJ Patrick, myself, Kenny B. We had a lot of folks making music. Handful of guys, Techniques, a lot of guys, DJ Class. And we were all in competition with each other. I would hear a record I remember I heard pick him up. Oh, I gotta come with something hard. Come with Are You the Bomb? I remember hearing I puff a lot of weed. We gotta come with something hard. We come with Hey You Knuckleheads. I remember hearing songs, and it inspired me to come with something harder. That competition, friendly competition, that competition strived us to be better. And in this instance, the pressure that Zeke Cohen is going to be putting on Brandon Scott is going to be better and make Brandon Scott even better. And hopefully we'll get the best politician, the best public official for the people. So that competition, I think, between, and it's coming up. The competition is coming up. Their roads are going to collide, Zeke Cohen and Brandon Scott, because Zeke Cohen wants to be mayor. Now, I haven't talked to him. I haven't heard anybody say it. I'm telling you, by the moves that he's making, he wants to be mayor of Baltimore. And that, I think, my friends, is going to be Brandon Scott's next challenger. But that is further down the line. That's further down the line. So we had a lot of races, city council races, disappointment in the 7th district. Surprise. I saw a surprise in, and I'm not going to go to every single city council race, but I will do this. Like I said, it was a disappointment in the 7th. We had James Torrance winning over Tory Rose, and so shout out to everybody over in the Tory Rose camp. Here's a surprise though for me. District 8, I thought that Bilal Ali was going to win. He loses in a squeaker. To Paris Gray. Wow. That was a surprise for me. And so going to Instagram here for a moment, let's read a comment from Instagram that seems to have gotten my attention. Okay, so it says that Baltimore doesn't need the best politician. Baltimore needs the best leader. Great politicians don't always make great leaders, and great leaders don't always make great politicians. Okay, so what you need is a hybrid of both, right? Because a leader can be an activist but not a good politician. And understand this: in order to become the mayor or whatever it is, you have to know how to play and navigate those political waters. So sadly, we do need a politician, because a politician has to be able to navigate those waters. So we need a great leader who understands politics. Therefore, he or she is a politician. But I understand what you're saying. We need somebody that has this desire for the people. Going to our comments on YouTube, Midlife Bro Logic says, horrible day. Brandon Scott won. Just awful. All right. Okay. They also say that at least one Mosby is gone. Okay. The other Mosby lost last time, so I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? Shannon Wright won, Republican, due to the Diamond K effect interview. Shannon Wright did win. And Shannon Wright is a friend of the show. That is interesting. So she's the Republican nominee. Shout out to her. But the numbers, her numbers are not going to. What is Midlife Bro Logic says? I mean, we got rid of the final Mosby. You stand corrected. Okay. All right. Well, if that was your goal, Nick Mosby does not have the charisma, nor could he, in the climate that is currently here, could he have won. If Shannon Snead was not in the race, it would have been closer. But I think that Nick Mosby was destined to lose, whether Snead was there or not. Zeke Cohen trounced him. Okay, so on Instagram, you're saying that Paris Gray had the backing of the incumbent Chris Burnett, yes, who did a solid job in the district. Yes, Chris did a solid job. Shout out to Chris, definitely friend of the show. He's been through many times, and he absolutely did a solid job, and I will be anxious to see what's next. So we're actually trying to schedule to get Chris back on the show. I like to know what's next for him, because he did not run for re-election, and that was, I thought, interesting. Yeah, so a lot of takeaways from the Maryland primary, a lot of surprises, and the biggest surprise for me was the Angela Brooks victory. The Angela Brooks victory. She did her thing. Shout out to her. She definitely shifted gears. In the last few weeks, she shifted gears. Now, Trone had been dumping a lot of money in this race for a long time. Many folks thought that this race was his to lose. Many folks thought that. Many folks thought that he put so much money in this that there was no way that she or anybody was going to be able to catch him. That's what folks thought. And then when Mitch McConnell got Larry Hogan, Boss Hogg, to run for this seat, many folks thought he was going to run for president. He still may down the line. But right now, Mitch McConnell told him to do that because they thought they could flip that seat. So the word on the street was, gotta have Trone in, because this black lady, Angela Brooks, she can't beat Larry Hogan. That's what folks thought. That's what folks thought on the street. They say there's no way. We gotta vote for the white guy. It gotta be two white guys going against each other, because Angela Brooks can't. If she goes against Larry Hogan, she's gonna lose. That's what folks was thinking. That's what when I did my test on the streets, that's what folks were saying. But here's what happened. Nobody told that to Angela Brooks, because she did not carry it like she didn't have a chance. She said, and the way she carried it was, she was the only option to defeat Larry Hogan. I say that a star has been born in Angela Brooks. I like her swag. She's super smart. She has charisma, speaks well. Beautiful daughter. I mean, I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, but I saw a few weeks ago, I was telling my father a few weeks ago. Initially, I thought that we had to go with Trone because of the danger of Larry Hogan getting that seat. But as I saw her interviews, I saw her debate performance, I saw how she was attacking Trone and bringing to light some things. In addition to that, Trone made some mistakes. But the Prince George's County executive, her campaign endured some hiccups. I felt like they started late, but she overcame them. She's now getting national attention that she deserves, heavy national attention. She is going to take us to victory. She's going to take us to victory in the Senate in the fall if everything continues along the way that it's going. Now, she's going to probably become just as big a national superstar as Governor Moore is. If she prevails against Larry Hogan in the fall, she is going to be a national star, and she's going to be a big deal. She's going to be a big deal. So I'm super excited about her victory. I'm going to say it was an upset. I'm going to say it was an upset. Anytime you have somebody who spends $62 million of their money, their own money. That's what David Trone did. Critics are going to judge the congressman harshly for spending that money and then losing the Senate race. Oh, yeah, you can't buy that seat, fam. Can't buy that seat. All right. So the last month or so, Angela also Brooks found her footing in this race. David Trone and his campaign stumbled. They stumbled. So it is interesting. It is interesting. The establishment candidate was David Trone. He was the establishment candidate. And if the election had been a month ago, he probably would have won. But it ain't over till it's over. And Angela also Brooks did her thing. She changed the trajectory of this race, and she came out victorious. And it was something else. Going back and see what Midlife Bro Logic, he is talking crazy as usual. He says that straight white males should be afraid because that's my purpose in life. Brandon Scott. Okay. Brandon Scott's purpose in life is for a straight. What are you talking about? Okay. Midlife Bro Logic. What are you talking about? And here's the thing. Midlife Bro Logic, you live in Baltimore City. Brandon Scott is your mayor. What are you? You just can't wait for Zeke Cohen to get his shot, right? You cannot wait for Zeke Cohen to get his shot. Brandon Scott's exact words. I don't think that he means straight white males. He probably means racist white males. Straight white males. Who got a problem with straight white males? What are you talking about? I don't know. All right, tell me more. Tell me more. Midlife Bro Logic is not a fan of Brandon Scott. I did watch his interview on Joy Reid. I like Joy Reid, friend of the show. You're cherry picking, Bro Logic. You are cherry picking his words. You're saying them out of context. You're trying to act like Brandon Scott has a problem with straight white males. Oh my God. You want to cherry pick stuff, cherry pick some Trump stuff. We're going to talk about the debates in the after the break, but cherry pick some of that Trump stuff. You ain't got nothing for that, do you? I'm sure you have nothing to say about that. So Angela also Brooks, big winner, in all of that. We have seen, I think, the end of Sheila Dixon. Johnny O is going all the way. Let me say that Johnny O is going all the way to Capitol Hill. Shout out to him. Major victory for him. And it is just I don't know. All he does is win. All right. We talked about Zeke Cohen. Zeke Cohen had a solid victory in a 3-way Democratic primary for city council president. Zeke Cohen's victory and Midlife Bro Logic may like this. Zeke Cohen's victory is a reminder that white reformers can prosper in Baltimore City politics if they put the right coalition together. So he put the right coalition together, and I think that soon to be city council president Zeke Cohen is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the city of Baltimore for the foreseeable future. My prediction is Zeke Cohen is going to run for mayor in 2028 against Brandon Scott. All right, so Midlife Bro Logic is talking crazy. Okay, he said, talking about Brandon Scott. He said that Brandon Scott, you're cherry picking that. You're cherry picking that comment. Midlife Bro Logic says that Zeke Cohen is white-ish. He has a small hat. Okay. But of course you voted for him. Of course you voted for him. Who else was you going to vote for? You weren't going to vote for Nick Mosby. You don't know who Shannon Sneed is. So you voted for Zeke Cohen by default. Got you. Makes a lot of sense. So I don't know. Through Vignaraja, friend of the show, not going to shake his hand because he doesn't wash his hands after the bathroom. But Sheila Dixon, through Vignaraja, I think they are done being candidates for citywide office in Baltimore. I think that we can hang that up for them. I don't if through Vignaraja gets on Fox 45 and tries to run for another office, I'm going to be very very surprised. Yeah. So Anthony Brown, he came out hard for David Trone, and there is some loyalty, and there's been some financial help that Trone has given him over the years. So it made sense that he would want to endorse him. But I don't know if it made sense that he should have endorsed Trone over Also Brooks. He has a close relationship with Also Brooks as well. And I think that he probably, now he's more on the tail end of his career, Anthony Brown, than he is the beginning. So he may not care as much, but he did burn some bridges, I think. On Instagram, Good Mr. 15 says Theroux will run for state's attorney in 3 years. Okay, let's unpack that. If Theroux Vignaraja runs for state's attorney, that means he's going to be running against Ivan Bates. Ivan Bates already mopped the floor with him already. Why would he do that? Why would Theroux run for state's attorney again? Oh, I hope he doesn't do that. Yeah, that doesn't. I don't know about that. I hope he doesn't do that, because that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Speaking of not making a lot of sense, let's go back to midlife bro logic. Not to sound crazy, but Sheila Dixon is the baddest 70-year-old out there. Did you see her workout video? No, I did not see her workout video. Good Mr. 15 says that Theroux Vignaraja is addicted to the attention. That is true. He is addicted to the attention. I just think he just needs to focus on being a good attorney, and do that. Midlife Bro Logic says Ivan Bates for mayor. Now, I've talked to Ivan Bates about this before, and I don't think that Ivan Bates, friend of the show, been on the show many times. I don't think that he wants to be mayor. I don't think he wants to be mayor. I think he likes where he is, and yeah, we'll have to stay tuned for that. We'll definitely have to stay tuned for that. Yeah, so I don't know how I don't know if that goes. I don't know if that goes well for us. Midlife Bro Logic really likes Ivan Bates. Ivan Bates is awesome. Baltimore needs him. Yeah, Baltimore needs him as the state's attorney. I don't know if we need him as mayor. I don't know if we need him as mayor. We're definitely going to be watching that and see how that goes. I don't know about that. I think that he is really good where he is, and that is in the state's attorney's office. Of course, no surprises with regards to the presidential side of things in Maryland. So Joe Biden, big winner, of course. Here he got 53,505 total. And another thing that I want to look at that is interesting to me, and we've been seeing this trend, which is if we look at the Republican side of things, Nikki Haley, early voting, she got 122 votes. Okay, sad. Election day, she got 502 votes. Also sad. It's not a lot of Republicans here. Mail-in votes, she got 259 for a grand total of 823, which is 26% of the vote. Now, Donald Trump, early voting totals 308. Election day, 1,783. Mail-in, 416 for a grand total of 2,507 for 73% of the vote. Now, here's my point. As we've been seeing, in these primaries, 20% of the Republicans have been voting for a candidate who dropped out of the race months ago. They are not all feeling Donald Trump. They're all not drinking the Kool-Aid. How can he expect to win when he has less people supporting him than he did the last time, and he lost the last time? Each election, midterm or otherwise, less people are supporting Donald Trump. They have what I'm calling Trump fatigue. Trump fatigue. Like, they want him to be gone already. They want him to be gone already. I'm just saying. Yeah, so a lot of different results, a lot of races. It was very interesting. Now, of course, November. We're on to November. We're on to November, like a Wyclef song. It has been interesting, but we're going to do this. We are going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, the debate that nobody wants, but everybody's going to watch. Oh yeah, y'all going to watch the debate. We're going to talk about these two debates that are coming up, at least two of them. Welcome back. You man, Diamond K in here, of course. The Diamond K Show on all social media. I'm at the Diamond K Show, youtube.com/djdiamondk. So President Biden, Donald Trump, they've been talking about it, but they have finally agreed to participate in two presidential debates, one next month in June, the other in September. Why is this a big deal? Some people may wonder, what does a debate show about the type of leader that you would be? It doesn't show a lot. Actually, presidential debates, televised debates, didn't start happening until 1960. Prior to that, there weren't presidential debates. There weren't, because it's not really a showcase of the type of leader that you're going to be. How well you debate. No, that's not one of the things. You got 2 minutes to answer this question. That doesn't show the leadership. And as far as the knowledge, presidents have advisors for the reason because they don't know everything. They're not experts in those things. So what it becomes, if you've ever participated in a debate, you were a debate club in school, or you debated with your family, it's just about who can talk louder, who can get the one-liners off. It's that kind of thing. It's entertainment. Donald Trump is a showman. He's an entertainer. He doesn't play by the rules, right? Joe Biden's older. I think that Donald Trump's going to be able to overtalk him. So the first debate, Donald Trump agreed to this. The first debate is going to take place without an audience. It's not going to have a studio audience, which I think is good. At least we're going to be able to, or we won't be bothered by the applause or you know, I don't know. We're going to see. But I think that it's interesting that this debate is taking place so early. This is the earliest that a presidential debate has ever taken place. It's way early. This is even before their conventions are happening. Midlife Bro Logic says, you are so controlled. You're already making excuses for Sleepy Joe. I am not making excuses for Sleepy Joe. But since you brought it up, Sleepy Joe, it can't be his name anymore because Donald Trump is the one falling asleep in public, mouth open, cocked to the side, deformed. If he was in a retirement community, sleep like he sleeps in public, people would be checking him. They would be doing a wellness check on him. Donald Trump is just as sleepy as Joe Biden, if not sleepier, because we haven't seen Joe Biden fall asleep in public. Donald Trump falls asleep in public during a trial, his trial. Yeah, he can't be calling Joe Sleepy Joe, because if he's Sleepy Joe, then Donald Trump is comatose Donald. Like he's another level of sleepy. Donald Trump is. And let's not even start talking about his diapers. Let's not even start talking about Donald Trump and his diapers. All right, we're just gonna leave that alone. So yesterday, President Biden and former President Trump agreed to hold 2 campaign debates. First one's going to take place on June 27th, hosted by CNN. The second on September the 10th, hosted by ABC. This sets the stage for their first presidential face-off to play out in just over a month. Nobody's excited about the candidates, but these are the candidates that we have. These are the candidates that we have. Midlife Bro Logic says dashing Donald. Okay. I'm sure that he thinks he's dashing in his mind. I'm sure he thinks he's dashing in his mind. Yeah. So this timetable followed the Democrats' announcement that he would not participate in fall debates sponsored by the nonpartisan commission that organized them for more than 3 decades. Because the commission that organizes the debates previously, they do a crappy job. The rules are dumb and they don't enforce it. It's just whack the way they do the whole thing. 2 minutes for this, 1 to that, you know what I mean? Understand this. The debates are structured for ratings. TV stations want people to tune in for the ratings. CNN's ratings have been bad. This is going to be a help for them. This debate is going to probably be the biggest amount of eyes that have been on their station in some time. So Biden, put out the set the bait, and Donald Trump took the bait. So Biden's camp proposed that media outlets directly organize the debates between the presumptive Democratic and Republican nominees. I think that's a great idea. They have frozen out the independents who don't have a chance to even become president. So there's not going to be any RFK on the stage. There's not going to be any of the other folks that are just, Professor Cornel West is not going to be in the debate because they don't have a chance to win. What are we having on the stage for? So Biden has accepted the invitation. Trump has accepted the invitation. So they said anytime, any place, blah, 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 get ready to rumble, all that kind of stuff. So we're set for this rematch. And I did like Biden saying that when do you want to do the debates? I know you're free on Wednesdays. That's cool. That's kind of funny. So we're going to see both of these guys talking over each other. And the hush money trial probably will be over at that time. And so you're going to hear Trump talk about all of the cases that he's going to say that Biden brought against him. He's going to be saying that. Biden's going to be saying things back and forth. It's going to be interesting from the standpoint that it is not organized by the normal folks that do it. So it should flow a little bit better. They claim that they're going to turn the microphones off when the other person is talking. But if you just shout, you're still going to be able to hear it. So I don't know. I don't know how different that's going to be. But VP Harris says that she will debate with whoever Trump's VP pick is So she just put that out there. And I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but VP Harris dropped an F-bomb the other day. She ain't playing with y'all Bamas. Y'all be talking crazy about her. And she said, look, she's ready to debate whoever it is. If it's that lady that likes to kill killer dogs, Christy Nome from South Dakota, she said, bring her. She don't even care. She don't care who it is. All right. You want to bring North Dakota, Burgum, bring him. She don't care. VP Harris says she is down for whatever. All right. Very interesting. So we got debates coming up. That is good. People like to be entertained. That's what it is. It's just entertainment. Okay. Don't expect any more than entertainment from these debates. We're going to come back and take a quick break. We're going to talk about this guy, y'all, he wanted to be a police officer, but things did not work out that way. Now he is facing life in jail. We're going to talk about that right after this. 10 seconds. You're listening to the Diamond K Show on fire-tv.com. Welcome back. You man, Diamond K in here. Of course, you can support the Diamond K Show and On Fire TV via PayPal.me/Radio on Fire. Of course, on Cash App, and it's $, the Diamond K Show. You can become a member today at onfire-tv.com. Hit the join button. You can also subscribe on youtube.com/djdiamondk. You need to get in touch with me, djdiamondk@gmail.com. So this Florida man, has been convicted after admitting to a heinous crime during a job interview. Now, this job interview was to become a police officer. Yes, a police officer. So this is a crazy story here. This man, he wanted to become a police officer, admitted to sexually abusing his cousin during a police department interview. Stephen Bodley, 26 years old, was convicted by an Orange County jury last week of sexual battery on a child. Bodley first mentioned playing quote unquote sexual games in a sworn officer application. He again mentioned the crime during an interview. So I don't know. The examination, they asked him to expand on this very concerning answer to the question. And he provided it on this pre-test questionnaire. Bodley described sexually abusing a child years ago, admitted to it when he was asked to expand further. Detectives tracked down the victim's mother, who Bodley said, and the victim had a close relationship. The Tampa Bay Times reported, citing the affidavit. So the victim is a female, told the Florida Department of Children and Families about the abuse, saying it took place over several years, from when Bodley was around 14 to when he was about 19. Yeah, that is not cool. That is not cool. This guy was almost an officer, right? Assuming that he had passed this background check. Now, some may say that this is a sign of their screening process working. Some may say that this is an example of the screening process working. Thankfully, they caught this. And for some of y'all making excuses for him, his attorney asked that his confession not be presented during trial, but a judge denied that request. He is scheduled to be sentenced on June 24th. The conviction carries a sentence of up to life in prison. So there you have that. There you have that. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Other than I'm glad that they caught this Bama before, before he was able to become a police officer and potentially hurt somebody else. You listen to the Diamond K Show, of course, on fire-tv.com. Take a break and we'll be right back after this.
Visit onfiretv.com for live top stories, breaking news, and original shows.
We are back in Florida. A Florida school principal was arrested for slapping and choking a student. The principal had previously faced charges of abusing a child in 2017 when he was a camp counselor, and in 2019 when he was an employee at another school. So clearly this guy just snapped. So the principal of Destiny Leadership Academy was arrested over the weekend on allegations that he abused a student. Dante Akeem Prophet, 33 years old, faces charges of aggravated abuse and false imprisonment of a child under the age of 13. Video surveillance showed the principal physically restraining a young male student. Authorities say that Prophet grabbed the victim, put him in a chokehold, twisted his ankle, slapped him in the face, and used a charging cable to strike him. Video also showed the principal of the private Christian school preventing the child from leaving the room for more than 40 minutes. Prophet claimed that he was trying to prevent the student from harming himself. So therefore you harmed him. Authorities say that the video evidence clearly contradicts that allegation. So as I said, this is not the first time that this principal has faced felony charges related to a minor. So why did y'all make him the principal? Why did y'all make him the principal? Destiny Leadership Academy administrators wouldn't say why Prophet was hired by the school. When I reached out to the school, they said that he no longer works there. Says that he no longer works there. So schools can sometimes struggle to identify employees who pose a threat. I get it. Especially if they haven't been convicted of a crime. And so I am hoping that they will conduct a comprehensive criminal background check. They need to verify the applicant's education, their credentials, their previous employment, just like anything else. But males in the school are hard to come by, and I guess that they just cutting corners. They just cutting corners on that. Speaking of cutting corners, last story we're going to get into is about Oprah Winfrey. And she's been cutting a lot of corners, and now she's copping pleas. We're going to talk about that right after this.
On Fire TV is a streaming network for a generation on the move.
Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here. Of course, the Diamond K Show on fire-tv.com. Subscribe to us on youtube.com/djdiamondk. You need to get in touch with me, djdiamondk@gmail.com. Of course, on all social media, I am at the Diamond K Show. So Oprah Winfrey, I think everybody knows who Oprah is. Oprah, and she's a billionaire and she don't care. I get all that. Oprah is now apologizing for being what she calls a major contributor to the toxic diet culture over the years. So everybody could lose a few pounds. And Oprah has been very transparent with her diet journey, right? has opened up recently about taking weight loss drugs like Ozempic last year. Now, why is this an issue? All right, we've seen Oprah do all kind of stuff. But she's taken several drugs, and she's a longtime Weight Watchers ambassador. So here's my thing. I don't care if you take the diet drug, that's on you, right? But if you're a Weight Watchers ambassador, right? What they call it, the WW. She's an ambassador for that. They're selling folks this dream of this Weight Watchers way is the road that you need to go on. And she's one of the visible supporters of this. But on the back end, she's taking a weight loss drug. That's deceptive, because visually people are thinking, oh, I'll say on this Weight Watchers stuff, I'm gonna look like Oprah. But no, Oprah took a shortcut. Not that there's nothing wrong with the shortcut. Not that there's nothing wrong with the shortcut, but I'm not feeling that. It's deceptive. So there was this 3-hour Weight Watchers special, and she admitted to being a steadfast participant through her platforms, her magazine, and her talk show. There's nothing wrong with wanting to lose weight, and there's nothing wrong with showing folks the struggle, showing folks the road. But you needed to show folks that you jabbed that needle in your body and injected the Ozempic. You needed to show them that part. You left that part out, Oprah. Left that part out. So now, of course, she's trying to play the victim as usual. She said that this is Oprah. I've been a major contributor to it. I cannot tell you how many weight loss shows and makeovers I have done, and they have been a staple since I've been working on television. Here's the thing, Oprah. Here's the part you're not it's not getting through your thick head. There's nothing wrong with showing people makeovers. You got caught taking a weight loss drug when you were trying to act like it was Weight Watchers that did it. There's nothing wrong with, and people obviously want to see the weight loss journey because people want to lose weight. There's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't apologize for that. She's not apologizing. Oprah is not apologizing for what she did wrong. And that was taking the weight loss drug and not telling people and trying to act like it was something else. It's not about trying to help people lose weight. It's not about showing people this is how you lost weight. It's the apology is needed because you left stuff out, Oprah. Left stuff out. You remember when she dragged the wagon out, brought the 67 pounds of fat on the Oprah Winfrey show? It was a good visual, right? It was cool, right? She got to apologize for that. That's not what the apology is not needed for that, Oprah. I can go on all day about Oprah. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, of course, onfire-tv.com. We are doing a lot of things over here. You can visit us, hit the join button, become a member, and you'll get even more content. I'll be back here tomorrow, of course. Looking forward to it. Friday is coming up. We have a lot of things in the works, but I'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. Of course, music submissions, booking, or business info, contact me, djdiamondk at gmail.com, djdiamondk at gmail.com. Send me flyers. You have events coming up. Send me that same email address, djdiamondk at gmail.com. I will be back here tomorrow. Of course, I'm on social media all the time, all day, every day. It is not much out there that I miss, but I will see you guys tomorrow.